down the first round of the IHSA 5A playoff. The Julian Jaguars in town to take on the Lake Forest Scouts. Hi again, everyone. I'm Dan Capasso, joined by Chip Egan in a battle of 7-2 teams awaits. Chipper.
It should be a good battle. You know, you look at Julian, they come out of the Chicago Public League, but they've got a problem with that squad right now, and it happens to be in their running game. Antonio Watkins, their best running back, sore ankle. We'll see if he gives it a shot today to play.
Scouts on the return, and it's taken by Mark Gustafson. Gustafson looking for some room to run at the 35-yard line, bangs out to the 36, where Spencer Moss, the senior quarterback, will set the Scouts in motion, and Moss is back after a 2-week layoff.
He injured his thumb, actually broke his thumb a couple of weeks ago in the game against Stevenson, and then Phil Irvine stepped in and did a pretty nice job for the ball club, but they're coming off a loss in the last game of the regular season to the Antioch Sequoias, and Tom Myers says he wants to show the schools and the teams in 5A that, hey, they belong there. That loss to Antioch, a team that didn't make the playoffs, was a fluke. They want to show they're a playoff caliber team today.
1st and 10 for the Scouts from the 36. Off the option, Thornhill gets a good block from Good. Look out. Rick Thornhill gonna go all the way on the first play from scrimmage. Lake Forest touchdown. Rick Thornhill, a 64 yards. Goes Thornhill untouched.
Well, Julian was reading the option inside. They took up the dive man and then the pitch to Thornhill, and he gets a nice block from Ronnie Good, number 5. Look at him push the cornerback outside, allowing Rick Thornhill to cut back in. Nobody in the secondary to stop that play. 64 yards the other way, easy touchdown. The blocking, the crispness off the play right there just set it all up. Julian went for the dive man, though, and that's what killed him. That's what allowed everything else to open up to the outside.
Aaron Toll, the sophomore, to add the extra point. And he winds it within the right upright, and Lake Forest is on the board with some 17 seconds elapsed. Well, we talked to Coach Pete Thanos of the Julian Jaguars. They come out of the Chicago Public League South, and he says that he envisioned this game to be primarily on the ground, and he says his team will come at you right up the middle. So now a time to test that Lake Forest defense, see what they're all about.
Yeah, you know, Julian, it was funny to read the papers about this ball club because according to the head coach, he was saying, you know, this is a type of game and a type of team that will come out, and this game will be done in 45 minutes. You know, I mean, we keep the ball on the ground. We do not like to put the football up in the air. And it helps when you have a tailback like an Antonio Watkins, who's rushed for over 900 yards this year, but has been hobbled lately with a bad ankle. The problem you've got, though, is if he cannot go this afternoon, you've got to flip things over to other guys like a Damon Mayhew and see what he can do with the football. Joel Riggs coming out of the backfield. Try to have these guys get involved in the offense. And if you're Julian, you're going to have to establish that running game, make your blocks, and push the ball downfield. Eat some time, but make sure you put some points on the board.
James Payton deep, and will await this kick from his 10-yard line. Payton. Spun to the ground at the 28-yard line. We'll see their junior quarterback, James Johnson, take the controls. Johnson, an all-conference player in that Public League South. He plays with teams the likes of Simeon and CVS, Finger. In fact, CVS was the team that Lake Forest ousted in the first round of last year's playoffs in impressive fashion.
You know, the Chicago Public League really hasn't had a great history of state playoff runs. When you get down to it, it's been a matter of really financially. It's been tough to come up with the equipment and facilities for a lot of the kids, and it has been tough. But Julian making the Public League at 7-2, they're not a bad ball club at all. I mean, you don't go 7-2 for a season and people think you're no good. This is a team that belongs in the playoffs. And now here, even though they're down 7-0, open up the ball game, you want to try to reverse the momentum, get something established, ground some things out. And like you were saying before, this is, you know, in talking to the head coach, this is just a team that's going to pound it on the ground. If we see any passing today, it's going to be because Julian is faced with a third and very long situation, or they're down 14 or 21-0 and need to get back into it quickly. Other than that, don't expect the ball to go up in the air today.
Chuck Veslitz, the referee today, the umpire Jerry Cunningham, the line judge Harry Schlinker, Jeff Stewart, and Daryl Rathman rounding out the officiating group today from Lake Forest High School. On our first play from scrimmage, James Johnson sets him down. And the first carry of the game goes to, we've got a roster change right out of the get-go here. David
Mayhew, the ball carrier. And we're taking a look out there. We're looking for 33. He is not to be seen. That, of course, would have been Antonio Watkins, but that ankle must really be bad. In fact, Thamos was saying earlier, hey, if he can't go in the pregame, I'm going to see it. If it doesn't look good, forget it.
Tight end's open, has the grab. Number 82, Michael Lindsay. Well, how's that for a team that doesn't throw? Down to the 33-yard line.
31-yard pickup. Well, that shoots that theory down about not throwing the football, but that's something that he told us he wasn't going to do. Thano said he didn't want to throw the football, but look at the protection that Johnson gets. And a beautiful throw. They get behind the defense right on the money. Perfect pass to Joel Riggs, wide open down the field.
Spotted at the 34. Shandale Stafford wearing jersey number 35 today, by the way. Shandale normally number 44. Forgot his jersey today. He will wear 35 as Damon Mayhew, the real Damon Mayhew. Will you please stand up and take the ball? 26 Mayhew takes it down to the 29-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down 5. Just underway from Lake Forest High School. Rick Thornhill busted one, 64 yards, first play from scrimmage, 7-0 Lake Forest. Julian of Chicago marching. Jeffers, Stafford, and Mayhew in the backfield, and the ball goes to Jeffries. Be close to 1st down yardage near the 26. Belted down there by number 36, Mike Heeman, along with Peter Graff, the strong safety. At the 27, it will be 3rd and 3. James Johnson, 5'10", 195-pounder. Got a good look at his arm on the 36-yard connection with Mike Lindsay. Handing off to Mayhew. He'll be close to the 1st down. I don't know that he got a chip.
He may have. He had to get beyond the 25-yard line. And depending on that spot, looks like they're going to set him down at the 24, so he should have it. So here they're pounding the ball up the middle. You know, you got the pass play to the outside they work, but they're going inside. They feel that their offensive line is big enough to try to push guys off the line for Lake Forest. And right now you're picking up 3-4 yards at a crack, and they're doing their job up front. These guys for Julian are just controlling the line of scrimmage right now. The pass play helped, but here now they're getting some momentum back. Now they're trying to answer that touchdown.
1st and 10 Jaguars, hand off, trying to bounce outside is Mayhew. He's not going to get there. Lake Forest responding. 36 on the tackle again. That's Mike Heeman.
That's just a beautiful tackle, really an open field, because if Mayhew gets to the outside, he's got nothing but daylight in front of him. Look at Heeman just right there to make the play. Wraps up beautifully. Had some help coming from the backside, but knowing the quickness of the Jaguars in the backfield, that play gets to the outside, turns it up for some good yardage. So a fine tackle by Heeman.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 from the 24. Mayhew, nowhere, maybe a yard.
Mayhew, the ball carrier.
Looked like Peter Graff led the charge.
Peter Graff, number 27. A pickup of 2 is 3rd down, 8 yards to go. The ball at the 23-yard line.
At the 23, it'll be 3rd down and 8. 7:49 left 1st quarter. Lake Forest 7, Julian nothing.
3rd and 8 from the 23.
On the roll, it's Johnson. Can't get a block. There's Graff again.
James Johnson, the ball carrier, number 12.
That was just a straight quarterback keeper, and, you know, everyone has to be accounted for when you're doing a student body right, with everybody pulling and coming over. And a guy like Graff, who's going to come in from his safety position, just shoots right through the line. Look, there's it. At no time do you think he's going to throw the ball. He just tucks it away immediately. So here comes Johnson, and a hole opens up where Graff just steps right through. Nobody picked him up blocking-wise. Your running backs and the guys pulling have to be cognizant of what's going on around them, who's coming in, and open up the holes. And a hole did open, but mostly for the defense, and that's where Graff came.
Nice wrap by Graff. 4th down, 7 yards to go to keep this drive alive for Julian. Johnson to throw, straight drop back. Got a man, and he dropped it. Right on the numbers, right between the 8 and the 2 of Michael Lindsay. It would have been a 1st down. And Lake Forest bends, but they do not break.
He was wide open. I was watching him come off the line of scrimmage on the right side. The linebackers and safeties completely forgot about Lindsay. And look, you can't have this ball get any better than that. Right in the numbers. The old joke, worst place possible, right in the hands. And you can tell Johnson not happy about it. And you can't blame the guy. That's a 1st down, if not a few more.
1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. Moss going to work again. First man through is the fullback Magda. Shakes a tackler. Magda looking for a block. There he goes. Magda finally gang tackled at the 50, but thus far we've seen Julian's inability to wrap the arm.
Yeah, they're just getting blocked off the ball, too. It's an inability to wrap when he gets downfield, but look at all the blocking that Magda's getting. Now, here's a poor attempt right there. The play is shut off, but missing that tackle was Carmochi Avery, and he just couldn't get a hold of him. You know, that was just not a good wrap job, as you were talking about. You've got to make the tackles, and these guys are just getting big yardage.
But midfield, Moss looking near side, looking for Surley. Nice coverage supplied by Kevin Pickens.
Intended for Steve Surrey is incomplete.
Good idea. Pickens right there with him.
Well, you're just thinking single coverage, man-to-man. Why not take a shot? You're better off, I think, in those situations of pump it and then let him go. I don't like the loft play. The defense is right there. They gave him a little bit of a cushion. And right there, stride for stride, was the cornerback. Make the pump fake, see if he can bite, because obviously if they're biting on the option play where they're coming into the fullback, chances are they will go after any fakes or any type of misdirection that you're throwing. So you want to try to get them to commit to something that's not happening.
Near side option, Ronnie Good gets a block from Thornhill. Ronnie to the 40, turning it now 30, still on his feet. Ron Good wrestled down at the 19-yard line. That option will give you fits if you're not familiar with it.
Well, think about what's happening right now running the football. You can almost say, hey, that last throw was totally unnecessary because you're picking up so much yardage on the ground. Look at Ronnie Good keeping his balance, steps it back inside, and then gets wrapped up to 20. Here on the running plays, they've run the ball 3 times, the Scouts have. Thornhill with the opening touchdown run of 64 yards, Magda 31, and then Ronnie Good picked up 30 on that carry.
J.C. Covert in at fullback, number 26. 1st and 10 from the 19. Covert fake now. Thornhill, big hole. Rick Thornhill angling towards the corner of the end zone. 19 yards goes Thornhill for the 2nd score of the afternoon, and it's still very early.
Now watch all the blocking too, because this is the difference right here. They commit to the quarterback that time, and that's what cost them. Lawrence Johnson went after Moss. Moss pitched it to the outside. Thornhill got it. Ronnie Good out in front again, throws a beautiful block on the corner. The linebackers are coming inside for the dive play. As I said, with Johnson taking the quarterback, that allowed him to pitch it to the outside, and there's nobody there.
Sophomore Aaron Toll connects once again, and with 5:36 left here in the 1st quarter, Lake Forest has jumped out to a 14-0 lead. Stay with us on the Star Channel.
If you like to watch sports like hockey or basketball, then you'll love Sports Talk. It's a lively program featuring Mitchell Smith, the versatile one, myself, and most importantly, you. That's right, on Sports Talk, we welcome your comments and conversation. You just have to tune in to Star Channel 3 Thursday nights at 6:30, and you can look for our number at the bottom of your screen. Give us a call, talk about local or national sports, or whatever's on your mind. So don't miss Sports Talk, live on Thursdays on U.S. Cable Star Channel 3.
83 yards on 2 carries, 2 touchdowns for Rick Thornhill as we get back to action here.
Tackle on the play, defends
Kick returned by Derek Selders of Julian. And they'll spot the football near the 36-yard line where the scout defense will have to go to work. You know, Julian had a nice drive first time around. Were it not for a drop pass, they'd have more than likely have been in the end zone.
You know, and that's a big drive, too, because that pass was right on the money that they just couldn't haul in. It would have had the first down, probably inside the 10, maybe closer to the 5-yard line. Couldn't get anything out of it. But offensively, you're going to have to pick it up. Down 14-0 right now. But defensively, you've got to stop this option play. Lake Forest has run 5 plays so far in the ballgame. 4 runs, 1 pass. They have 144 yards on the ground already. You know, Julian's got to do a better job of watching that option play and guarding that better.
Scout showing blitz, now backing off. And busted play. Johnson keep the football, gain a couple yards.
James Johnson, the ball carrier.
To Gregory Duke and company.
Number 16, Jordan
near the 37.
Along with number 78.
Yeah, that was just screwed up from the get-go. When he turned to hand off to the fullback, no one was there.
Second down,
they got to the hole before Johnson had a chance to find the man he's given the ball to. Then he just had to tuck it away and even picked up a couple of yards, so at least you got something positive out of it. But execution, now that you're down 14-0, the last thing you want to have happen is run into a situation where you can't get anything. You can't pick up first downs. You're not moving downfield. If you're forced to punt, you want to get off a good kick. You can't dig yourself a hole. And that's how you get out of it.
Fullback Joel Riggs near midfield. For the first time, Chip, we saw Antonio Watkins in the backfield. He holds all the Julian records. And Gustafson finally making the tackle.
Well,
when you're just the presence of Watkins in the backfield.
Yeah, well, here's what's happening. When you bring in Watkins, is now you feel a sense of urgency. Defensively, you can't hold Lake Forest whatsoever right now. They're running up and down the field on you. As I said, 144 yards on the ground. So what they're looking at now, Pete Thanos is saying, hey, my club is having troubles. I've got to get a spark. I've got to get something that's going to get some points on the board or give these guys an emotional lift. Watkins coming back into the ball game is that emotional lift for this ball club.
Yeah, they go. Second man through is Mayhew. Tries to dance to the outside, and he is wrestled down from behind by
Mayhew, the ball carry. Brought down by
but just as soon as he came in for the play, he also came off the field. I was looking around and didn't see him.
Spotted on the midfield stripe, where it'll be second down and 10.
In fact, he's still over there. He's hanging around Coach Thanos. I think he really wants to get into this ball game. You know, he's an was an honorable mention for All-Stater. He's all public league. But he's not all right when you get down to the bad ankle. That's holding him back right now.
Well, Coach Thanos, before the game, was just concerned about his health overall, and he says he's not going to put him in if there's any threat to the well-being of that leg.
Coverage on the play to Todd Linehan.
Intended for Ricky Carter. Good coverage applied by the Scouts on the far side.
Yeah, Linehan right there, stride for stride, made a nice play getting his hand up. And, you know, I look at what's happening right now, and Coach Thanos with holding Watkins back, I think, you know, it is a good thing for this kid, perhaps. You know, he's a senior. It could be his last ball game. Now you'd think, hey, why don't I give it a shot? Let's see what can happen. But you know what? This kid's got a bright future ahead of him football-wise. If something was to happen to his ankle where it got severely damaged or someone rolled it or something happened during the game, it just wasn't worth it. And this kid's got a bright future.
The big fullback Riggs again picking up 5. Hard to bring down Joel Riggs. He's only 5'9", 165, and he's just a sophomore.
You know, this is where we go back to what we were saying at the beginning of the ballgame. Other guys are going to have to pick it up. A guy like a Riggs, a Mayhew. These are the people that are going to have to step it up out of that backfield and get the yardage. But it all begins up front, too. A couple of times we've seen some nice holes opened up at the line of the Jaguars, pushing some scouts out, a Mayhew to get through. A guy like Riggs to pick up 5, 6 yards. But you have to be more consistent in it and execute, execute, execute.
Lawrence Johnson to punt for Julian. Back for the Scouts. It's Thornhill and Gustafson. Fair catch called for. And Gustafson called for the fair catch.
You're getting flags on that.
Himself.
Yeah, you're getting flags because what happened is he called the fair catch. And when the ball hit, I think he realized, hey, wait a minute, I can return this. I've got an opening. And in doing so, that's where the penalty comes in, because you can't throw up a fair catch sign and start to run with a football.
That's how folks get hurt.
That's it, exactly.
2:34 left, opening period. Pretty good crowd here for Lake Forest, hometown fans. Happy to see playoff football back here in Lake Forest once again.
Hey, you get the delay of game because that was the penalty right there. Calling the fair catch and then, hey, wait a minute, I can run with a football. Well, no, you can't. No, you can't. You know, Lake Forest, as you see Tom Myers right there, you know, just one of only 2 Lake County teams making the playoffs. Stevenson getting in as well, 9-0. North Suburban Conference champions just had their way last night with Collinsville, winning the ball game 38-8. Stevenson really unchallenged, but Collinsville, a team that had to come all the way up from just outside St. Louis, left on Friday morning to get to the game. And perhaps a little rusty, but overmatched in the long run, too. Stevenson just far too good for that ball club.
Well, Scouts were looking to go 8-1 into these playoffs, but they ran into a very tough Antioch club last week, and some thought that might have been somewhat of a wake-up call. Well,
it very well could have been. You know, you end up losing 2 of your last 3 ball games of the season. One happens to be to Stevenson, which a lot of people can understand, but I think Lake Forest fans are saying, hey, wait a minute, Antioch, I know they got a decent ball club, but we're Lake Forest. We can run the football. We can put points on the board. We can stop people defensively. Where did this come up from? But Del Peshawur's club, boy, what an inspired effort. Great way to finish out the season.
First down 15, big hole. Ronnie Good quickly closed up after a gain of about 4. 23, Ricky Carter on the stop. Joined back there by Stafford, Shandale Stafford, as we mentioned, wearing 35 today. Second down and 12 for the Scouts.
Hey, you talk about that 7-2 record that the Lake Forest Scouts have coming in. Well, the winner of today's game takes on Rockton Hunninega. Big winner last night, but they'll have to go on the road for it.
Moss gonna hang on to the football. You wonder how much that thumb is hampering him, you know, in terms of the ease of that toss. But
well, it don't look like it affects him too much so far, considering what they pulled off earlier. I think he's doing okay, but you know, Tom Myers said the thumb is doing okay. It's been heavily taped and bandaged up, plus the fact that he had a decent week of practice. He did even see some time last week in the game against Antioch defensively. So,
right.
Heck, if he's going to be out there making tackles, I think he can grab hold of that football and at least pitch it.
Gritty senior quarterback Spencer Moss ducking back under center on 3rd down and 11. Good. Couple yards there, and it sounds as though, or it looks as though Julian is improving defensively in a hurry.
Julian played those well, but those were pretty much straight handoffs. No option play in that one. And it was that was play calling very conservatively, but looking at it from, we've run the ball effectively, let's just keep hammering it away. They've got to stop us. But the plays that were effective were the option. And instead that time, straight handoffs, dive plays that were well read by Julian. And knowing the public league, I think that was mostly, you know, what they can defend easy.
Adam Galloway gets off a shallow kick, taking a Julian bounce. Paul Mann hustling down the field. And Julian will have good field position.
Yeah, the Jaguars getting some field position here. You know, they're down 14-0 in a quarter dominated by Lake Forest, but hey, you know, if you can get something going, you can get some points on the board, you know, you're not out of this one by any stretch of the imagination. But you've got to make something happen. You can't have busted plays and things like that occur. You've got to be able to get your runs and your blocks happening perfectly. Get yourself some yardage and then get yourself into the end zone. Get something up on that scoreboard.
James Payton will split to the left. On the near side is Ricky Carter on 1st and 10 out of the I backfield. Johnson, first man through, the fullback Riggs. Hit first by 44, John Lampros. Swartout also on the Lake Forest tackle. Clint, Duke, Heyman, Coe, Swartout, Barrett. Here's some guys who can really bring a load.
That's probably going to do it for the quarter unless Julian gets this one off quickly. But a fully dominated quarter by Lake Forest, and they've got the 14-0 lead. But Julian, with the ball in Lake Forest territory, you know, hey, can make something happen. It looks like it was going to be all Lake Forest, but Julian's still hanging in.
At the quarter, the Scouts lead by 2 touchdowns. Stay with us on the Star Channel.
I'm sorry your table wasn't ready. Your dinner will be free.
It would be nice, but only U.S. Cable offers you these guarantees. On-time cable service appointments or a $20 credit guaranteed. And on-time cable installation or it's free guaranteed.
Sorry we're late, folks. This flight will be free.
Dan Capasso, Chip Egan, and the entire Star Channel production crew. When I say entire, I say the entire crew here today. Not everybody made the trip today, but here we are in probably our final game of the season, and the mercury has dipped. This is good football weather and a good first quarter for the Lake Forest Scouts.
Well, barring anything that miracle-wise, let's say, that happens down the road, this will be, because after this, Lake Forest goes on the road. If they win, or the winner of this game anyway, goes to Rockton for the Rockton, unless Julian wins. Julian would play host to Rockton Huntington next week. But if Lake Forest wins, they go on the road, and then it's a matter of who hosts. If they should win that ball game, then it's a matter of who wins the other part of that bracket. And then if they are on the road, the lower seeded team, or the team that has hosted the least amount of games, gets to play host to one. If not, they've got to go on the road to the higher seeded teams.
Second down, 7. And the ball goes to Riggs. Riggs, nothing doing.
Joe Riggs, the ball carrier.
Scouts putting the screws to the running back. 44, that's John Lampros.
5 yards to go. The ball to 30.
Yeah, this year the IHSA ended up seeding teams 1 through 32. Instead of just having the teams matched off and pairing them because of record and things like that, it comes out where now with the seed, you will have your higher seeds playing your lower seeds, perhaps making it more fair.
They're down 5 from just outside the 30. Watkins gets the call, and he looked like he was moving gingerly there.
Yeah, that was a real tentative run, and understandably so because of that ankle. But, you know, still, I think if you're going to get in and you're going to go and play, you've got to make something happen.
Brings up 4th down. 6 yards to go.
4th down and 6 with a minute gone here in the second quarter.
Yeah, if you're going to be out there and you're going to play, you've got to be able to say, hey, I can go at it really hard, but he was very tentative. However, a lot of that had to do with poor blocking on the right side and the fact the Scouts are right in his face. That has a lot to do with perhaps being a little ginger around the outside, running it a little gingerly.
Carter and Payton, your 2 split ends. Right and left, out of the eye. Johnson straight drop back, screen, and he throws it too low. Harmlessly to the earth, the ball falls at the 35. Jeffries the intended, but the Scouts take over.
You know, it looked like everything was opening up well for the screenplay. Watkins was standing, or excuse me, he had the receiver standing right there ready for the football, but just a poorly thrown ball by Johnson. He's backpedaling and just throwing it, and your momentum going backwards, and you're trying to get something on the football going forward, just isn't going to work out. And nothing doing. They could have gotten a first down too. Had some room out in front.
Covert back in at fullback. 1st and 10 Scouts. Moss looking wide open. Rivetto got him. Rivetto can't hang on or stave his feet, and he tumbles down at the 14. That's just a matter of righting yourself and taking it in. Still a great catch.
Great looking play. You know, he was wide open. Moss had time to throw, but then the defensive pressure coming up by Lawrence Johnson forced him to step up in the pocket and throw. Look at how wide open Rivetto is. Nobody around him, but he was making sure catching that ball first, which is job 1 before you start running with it. But he just lost his footing, unfortunately, but it was still a great catch, big play. 50-yard pickup, they're calling it on that play, too.
From the 18-yard line, Surwey split near side. Magda plows down to the 5. Brought down there by Ricky Carter. Just a quick, no-nonsense hitter.
Still the lowest gain on the afternoon so far by Lake Forest was a 2-yard run by Ronnie Good earlier that was stopped. A 3-yard run by Moss that was held up. But beyond that, here, we want to run down these numbers too. Thornhill, 2 carries, 83 yards. Had the 64-yarder and then a 19-yarder. Ronnie Good, 36 on 3 carries. The 30-yarder to open up with, then a 4 and a 2. Magda, 2 carries, 41, a 31-yard pickup, and then right there he picks up 10 more. Moss, 1 of 2 in the air, 50 yards. That coming on that big completion to Rivetto. So when Lake Forest is getting their yardage, it's not a small little, well, he picked up a yard here, a yard there. No, it's 30, 40-yard chunks right now.
First and goal, Scouts from the 7-yard line. Rivetto back in. He hobbled off a bit after that great catch. Surwey is the tight end left. Looking for Rivetto. Can't make the one-handed grab. Thrown a bit behind him.
Yeah, that was an ugly-looking throw. He was wide open. Could just waltz into the end zone if you lead him a little bit and drill him in the breadbasket, but really not a good-looking throw. You were talking about Rivetto before, maybe hobbling a little bit after the catch. Well, I think when you're that wide open and you make a reception and don't score, the easy way to cover it is, hey, the ankle went. I didn't get a chance to, I heard it a little bit getting open.
Second and goal from the 7 Scouts. Moss gets it off Thornhill. Rick Thornhill. Touchdown.
But you got a flag down too, though. Got a flag back at about the 17, and it looks like it's going to be on Lake Forest. I think you may get a hold on this play, a hold or a block in the back. And they'll bring it back. Boy, Thornhill had to get around about 5 or 6 Jaguars, too, to get into the end zone.
Very impressed by his ability to find the corner there. That would have been his 3rd touchdown of the afternoon on 3 carries, but it goes off for now.
Well, let's see. Ronnie Good is the man out in front. And the flag came in there. He was the only blocker, so the hold's got to be on him. We really don't get to see a shot of it because we got Thornhill going, but Ronnie Good, the guy that had the flag on him, he was the only one in that backfield leading the way.
So it's 2nd and goal from the 21. Surwey splits left, joined over there by Thornhill. The tight end right now is Rivetto, motion in Thornhill. And Moss looking to throw, has a man wide open, middle of the end zone, he missed him. Looking for Surwey.
Thornhill was pressured, or excuse me, Spencer Moss was pressured up front, but still he had Surwey wide open in the end zone, and that's just a matter of getting it to him. He just launched that one downfield, put a little too much on it. The pressure does force you to get rid of that football a little quicker, but, I think in that instance, Moss did have the time where he could have just drilled him with a pass right over the middle.
Tom Myers and company looking on, had a chance to talk to Coach Myers before the game. We'll look at that interview at halftime, as well as the coach from Julian, that's Pete Thanos. A fine gentleman, the both of them. Moss after the fake, stepping up in the pocket, and he's going to be sacked. Shook off the first defender, but he couldn't lose the onslaught. Bringing him down was Lawrence Johnson, and Johnson's getting up slowly.
Yeah, let's see what happened. I thought they were going to throw a flag because Moss originally gets hit up around the head. Watch. Oh, no, they actually got the shoulder. Got the shoulder on that play. Derek Selders was the first guy to get through to grab hold of Spencer Moss. And he was going up top because Moss was getting ready to throw, so he's looking to maybe block the arm or the pass. And as Moss started to move, he got hold of that shoulder, and as he came over, it just caught the top of the head, so no flag there.
Timeout, Julian. Both coaches on the field to talk things over. We'll take a timeout on the Star Channel. Lake Forest on top, 14-0.
We at U.S. Cable would like to introduce you to Otto. Otto has made it possible for you as a U.S. Cable customer to access your account information 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. You can also order the latest and greatest commercial-free hits on pay-per-view. Just call 336-0681 on a touch-tone phone, and Otto will run you through a few simple steps. It's that easy. Otto is available in Spanish. También habla español.
4th and goal from the 24-yard line. Good in motion. Moss with time. Moss going to be belted out of bounds near the 10-yard line, so Lake Forest forfeits the football. Good defense. The secondary went to work for Julian.
Yeah, Lake Forest had their wide receivers coming out to the right side, and Julian just stacked defensively that side. So it worked out great. Julian had about 6 or 7 guys in that area to cover the 2 or 3 guys that Lake Forest was going to send out in the pattern. Really, you know, it's a situation where you can't pick up a first down. You got to launch it into the end zone and see what happens. And well covered by Julian. Hey, we'll give up the run, we'll give up the yardage, but certainly do not give up the touchdown. So a fine job by the Jaguar defense that time.
So the Jaguars will take over from their 9-yard line. It looks as though Tom Myers has been studying the game tapes of Grant, our pal Mark Barzak. They never wore shirts, or they never wore sleeves on their shirts, regardless of the weather.
And Julian's taking too much time back there, as there you see. But I actually just rolled him up. He pushed the sleeves up on that shirt. I mean, it's a cool day. You can tell the assistant coaches over there, the cowboy hat, the jackets, but so I mean, as far as football is concerned, beautiful day for football. Last night we had a tough one over there in Lincolnshire. Temperatures in the middle 20s, wind blowing pretty good out of the south.
Not a lot of wind here this afternoon. We started at 12:30, and seems like it died down at the start of the game. It was whipping around pretty good, but great day for football. You got it, Chip. 1st and 15, Jaguars now from just outside their 5. Deep in a hole. First man through, fullback. That's Stafford. Shandale Stafford takes it out to the 19-yard line, giving them some breathing room.
That's a nice piece of running.
Chip, yeah.
Nice piece of running up the middle. Look at the blocking he gets. Gets a beautiful block up front to clear the hole open. Ed Gant stepped in and was able to move the defender that time, Gregory Duke, and just maneuvered him so that Stafford could come through the hole and pick up the 13 yards on that play, 14-yard run.
Linehan finally made the stop. 2nd down and a yard to go for Julian. Near side split James Payton. James Johnson, the junior quarterback, has gone the whole way thus far. Out of the eye, Johnson keeping, and he'll be close to first down yardage.
James Johnson on the quarterback keeper.
That's a play call where you don't want anything to happen in terms of a bad handoff or blocking breaks down. This is just the straightforward quarterback sneak. You get the first down, gets the blocking, gets the surge up front, and just falls forward for the yard to get the first in the fresh set of downs.
From the 20, Julian will try to sustain a drive. They'd like to get something on the board before they go to halftime. Their first drive of the ball game was hampered by a drop pass. Nothing doing on first down. Watkins again, his 2nd carry, and he's got 1 yard total on 2 carries.
Yeah, that time they were trying to get him to the outside, and there was nothing doing. The defense was right there. In fact, he didn't get anything on the play itself. And Watkins gets into the ball game. They have a good idea, the scouts do, of where that ball is going. They're sticking it in his midsection and letting him run and see what can happen. The guy picks up 900 yards. You figure he's the one you're going to have to key on. He's the one that can make some things happen.
Watkins remains in the ball game. Shandale Stafford the up back as Payton comes near side on 2nd and 10. Johnson with time. Intercepted. Adam Galloway waited for it to come down, and he tucked it away.
Yeah, you talk about waiting for it to come down. That's exactly what happened. That ball was just fluttering when it got up there. His receiver had broken away from coverage and was open, but Johnson just doesn't get much on this throw at all. As you can see, look at it just wobbling. And it goes right into Galloway's hands.
You're right, James Payton had a couple steps, but had to come back for the football. And Galloway with the pick. 1st and 10 Scouts. Ron Good behind Thornhill. Gain of about 8 to the 37.
Brought down by number 82, Michael Lindsay.
Two-way player Michael Lindsay on the stop.
A gain of 6. It's 2nd down, 4 yards to go.
Now Julian's got a lot of those. Again, if you look over on the top of your screen, before you saw right there, you see all of the Jaguars that came suited up for the ball game today. Certainly a big disparity when you look at both sidelines.
2nd down for Scouts. 6:19 left first quarter. Fullback gets the handoff. And Covert
Number 26, Casey Covert.
has the first down.
Brought down by Isaiah Williams.
Now check that. He's shy of the first down, real close near the 34-yard line.
Pickup of 3. It's 3rd and 1.
Third less than a yard there, Chip.
Yeah, Casey Covert, just another part of the running back cog that they have back there. They can insert, obviously, Ronnie Good and Rick Thornhill are the main guys, Magda at the fullback. But you can insert a guy like a Casey Covert, and he'll be able to pick up some yardage for you, just to give the other guys a breather, just to give them a chance. And the officials are going to talk this one over and perhaps get a measurement out. They may be talking about the spot of the football, because the referee stepped in and had called first down, it looked to me.
I thought I saw that signal. I thought they had it.
And he's just short of it.
You're right, Chip. So many weapons in that Lake Forest offense.
Yeah, you got to give those guys a chance to get a breather every now and then. So you insert a guy like a Casey Covert. He'll step into the backfield. He'll get the carries a couple of times, and then you can come back with a Thornhill and a Ronnie Good and have something happen out of that. And Moss throwing the football not effectively this afternoon, though. Just 1 of 4, the big 50-yard play to John Rivetto. But other than that, they haven't thrown the ball effectively at all this afternoon.
Magda back in at fullback from the 35-yard line. It's Thornhill spinning to the outside, has the first down at the 31.
Brought down by number 23, Carter.
Well, that makes it definitive.
On the play for Lake Forest.
Ricky Carter's been busy for Julian, number 23, on the stop. A little too late. Can't stop the Scout first down. 5:27 on the running game clock here in the first half, and true to Pete Thanos' prediction, a quickly played ball game thus far.
Yeah, no doubt about it, just flying by, but that's because, again, throwing the football, Moss has put it up in the air 4 times, Johnson 5. That 5 times that Johnson has thrown it is perhaps more than Thanos would have liked, but a couple of times they've been faced with 2nd and 10 situations. I mean, they were in areas where they had to throw the football. They couldn't get away from not doing it.
1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. Moss handing off to the fullback. Covert has a couple.
Casey Covert, the ball carrier.
Brought down there by 35. Shandale Stafford, the fullback, turned defenseman.
That's funny in the handoff, too, because it looks as though, you know, Moss is just, wait a minute, where'd it go? You know, it never really looks like it's a clean handoff, but it is when he just gives it to the fullback. I mean, Covert just pops into that line so quick that, you know, it's gone before you know it.
From the 29-yard line, Magda back in at fullback. Option near side. Thornhill outside, great block there. Thornhill 10, got to go 5 more, got there. Touchdown, Rick Thornhill, his 3rd of the afternoon.
It was the block by Jack Rivetto that springs him for the touchdown. He's got Ronnie Good and Rivetto out in front. There's Ronnie Good, number 5, throws a nice block, but watch the Julian Jaguar player come flying in like that. That's because of the block thrown by Jack Rivetto coming back to make a play. 29-yard touchdown run. Thornhill's now got 115 yards, 3 touchdowns on just 4 carries.
Aaron Toll to add his 3rd kicking conversion, and he is successful once again. And with 4:26 left in the first half of play, the Scouts out to a 21-0 lead. Stay with us on the Star Channel.
26 left to play in the first.
Realty Vision, a new way to view real estate. Have a paper and pen ready to write down the brokers, agents, and phone numbers of these fine homes. Realty Vision only features properties listed by brokers and agents licensed by the state of Illinois. Buying or selling? Call one of these highly trained professionals for all of your real estate needs. And remember, say you saw it on Realty Vision.
Sophomore Aaron Toll getting some varsity work today. He barely got it off. Look out.
Truly a headbutt.
Chuck Norris come flying through there. So Mr. Toll will kick off now for the Scouts. Deep for Julian. It's James Payton.
And a roughing the kicker is what was called. And we're kind of joking about, but they did flag that point after, so it goes as a roughing the kicker penalty. And here you're going to see it again. The kick gets off, and then boom, right there. Isaiah Williamson, yeah, he just came flying in. You couldn't miss him. He's a big guy, too, at 6'2", 185.
Good athlete, all-conference player there in the Public League South.
And he just got a hold of Toll and, well, actually bumped Toll. They didn't pay his toll. And as a result, they get the extra yardage, and he'll be kicking off from the 45.
Avery joins Peyton deep. And it's going to be Avery. Carm O'Shea Avery going to watch it go over his head. And it'll be 1st and 10 Julian from the 20-yard line.
And the touchback, Julian will take over 1st and 10. The ball will be marked at their own 20-yard line.
You get a look at the sophomore, Aaron Toll. A couple of them brought up to the varsity level this afternoon. But Toll getting the job to do the kicking. Yeah, Jack Rivetto's the guy doing it, but I think what you're doing is in having Toll come out and do it, he's probably kicked well on the sophomore level, but, you know, you got Rivetto where I think you'd rather that he concentrate on offensive plays and not have to worry about, well, we're going to have to pull him, let's get some kicking in. There he can just concentrate on running the offense and playing defense.
1st and 10, Julian Jaguars looking to put something on the board before halftime. They've got 4:26 left here in the first half of play. Look out blindside, got the pass off, and his tight end dropped it. Michael Lindsay.
Intended for number 82, Michael Lindsay.
Boy, Mike Heyman, first guy to get through.
2nd down, 10 yards to go.
Just shot through. Mike Heyman just barreled through and had the shot at Johnson. Look at it. We're take a look there, and we're getting it pointed out too about Nick Ricci's legs right on his calves. He's got these big thermals going. He's got the big vinyl suit looking things going underneath his pants. He's got him covering the ankles. He's going to be one. He'll be one of the few guys actually coming off this field sweating.
From the 20. This one is complete to Derek Selders. So they go back to a pitch and catch to the tight end. And once again, 36, Mike Heyman was coming hard.
Yeah, they're just forgetting about Heyman. Look, that's a free shot at the quarterback. And fortunately, Johnson was able to get rid of it in time and hook up with his receiver, Selders. But they've got to watch out because, you know, you keep getting that close, you're eventually going to get them.
The ball is at their own 32-yard line.
Jaguars will come out from the 32 now on the march. 1st down. Ricky Carter, the near side split. James Payton to the top. Johnson handing off 42, Joel Riggs. He bounces off defenders all the way to the 40-yard line.
Number 42, Joel Riggs, the ball carrier.
Boy, he just spun off that pile at the line of scrimmage and came back out to the left side. Good second effort here. I mean, this is where everything gets bottled up inside. And then you see he just rolls off the pile, comes to the outside, and then a lot of upstairs tackling, and that's not going to get it done. It takes a gang tackle to bring him down, but that's because everyone's hitting him up around the shoulder pads.
Linehan and Graff among the Lake Forest stoppers. 2nd down and a long 2 now. Johnson with the eye backfield. Goes to Watkins. Antonio just doesn't have it today. Either that or the scouts just got his number.
Yeah, they're reading him very well this afternoon. Again, it's when he comes into the ball game, you know he's getting the football. And you can just key on him, and you can just watch where he's going and have everybody move that way. Your linebackers, your corners can step in, and they're just right in his face. The blocking breaks down, but you've got a lot of guys in blue jerseys over there watching where he goes, watching his every move.
3rd and 3 on the way.
Now see, he's not in there. So now you got to start thinking out of the I formation. Are they going to go with Riggs, or are they going to swing it to the tailback?
Johnson to the tailback, Mayhew. That's the first down near the 42, 43-yard line. Mayhew angled for the stick, and he got there.
Yeah, that time, you know, here again, you've got a couple guys with some good wheels, as you see Coach Thanos talking to his running back, Mayhew. But a couple of guys with good wheels in that backfield, you know. They're not hobbling around, and it's just been where Watkins is trying to give it a go, and it just hasn't been working for him this afternoon. And so now you have to rely on Watkins and Riggs to try to get the job done along with Mayhew.
They spotted on the 44. Johnson sets him down. This will be Mayhew again. He ran into John Lampros, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah, that wasn't going anywhere. Right into the heart of the Lake Forest defense, and they were up to the task. Everybody just kind of got in there, fought off the blocks right away, and when you turn that guy away and you see the ball carrier, I mean, your eyes light up. You're like, this is Christmas early. I've got a shot at a guy for a short gain. He's coming at me. And that time, the defense just stood up and made the play.
2nd and 9 from the 45. Johnson. Zach Heeman.
There it is.
Saw that coming.
Yeah, they're just not picking him up. And no one's seeing him. Even on the running plays, as Lake Forest is going to call a timeout here because they got 1:26 left and want to get that ball back. No one is watching him. He's 36. He's been coming in every single time untouched. And all of a sudden, as Joel Riggs looks, it's, oh, here he is, and he just kind of tries to glance him with his shoulder. Well, that's not going to work. And even on the running plays, Linehan has been able to come untouched, and he overplayed the one run by Riggs that picked up 10 yards. But he's been there for free shots at Johnson. And, I mean, you're just inviting the defense to hurt your quarterback when no one picks him up on the blind side like that.
Living an defensive end's dream.
Oh, yeah.
Free shot.
You have to like that type of scenario if you are the safety or the corner coming in, and it's just open. It's open season on the quarterback, and Linehan has just gotten a free invitation to sack on the quarterback.
1:26 left first half. We'll take a break at the Star Channel. Third down 11, Julian Jaguars. Johnson straight drop. Screen. Complete to Pascal Jeffries, who can't maintain his feet. Down he goes at the 50. He'll be 3 yards shy of the first down.
Yeah, he lost his footing on trying to cut back, and as a result, his knee hit the ground shy of midfield. So they call him for just the 6-yard pickup.
5 yards to go.
So that leaves a 5-yard gain necessary for Julian to sustain this drive. And man, they need something on the board.
Yeah, Lake Forest used another timeout. They realize, hey, we can get some good field position with some time. They can try to make something happen. The way they've moved the ball this afternoon, it's good use of the timeouts. And even Tom Myers is calling over his offense. What he's got down in the sideline, he's calling them over. He wants to have a chat with everybody. either that or his special teams unit. But, well, he's got Ronnie Good over there, and he's got Irvine, Phil Irvine also over there, too. He'd been throwing the ball on the sideline, just trying to keep limber. John Magda also in.
Thornhill, 3 touchdowns. The difference in this one. 21-0 Lake Forest with 1:18 left in the half.
4th down, 5 yards to
What a
go.
great ride we've had on the Star Channel this year. 9 regular season contests. And here our first venture into the IHSA playoffs. 5A first round scouts doing the community proud to this point.
And now Julian's going to burn one, too. Everybody wants to use a timeout. You got them, use them. And it's just, I'm not sure exactly why. I think they're trying to get a play set, but just plenty of time. On the scouts' perspective, you can see using the timeout to conserve the time. Julian, on the other hand, I think is looking, saying, you know, maybe we're going to run a play. Let's try something and see what happens. And I think they realize, too, hey, defensively, we haven't really been up to the challenge this afternoon. And with Lake Forest moving the ball at will up and down the field on us, you know, perhaps we might think of taking a shot at getting the first down. Let's run a play and see what happens. Keep possession, and if nothing else, at least allow us to get a shot at it.
Well, despite the fact that we heard that Julian had little, if any, air attack, we've seen them go to the sky with success on at least one occasion. That was to the tight end, and then a couple passes been dropped, so we know Johnson can throw.
Well, albeit very limited success, but again, as you said, the drop pass. But that's one instance. Right now, on the afternoon, he's 3 of 8 for 49 yards and an interception.
Fourth down and 5.
4th down and 5 yards to go.
Stafford checks in at fullback. Number 35.
And a delay of game comes up. Wow, you got timeouts all over, and everyone's confused. And I think Julian is saying, hey, we just had a timeout. How do we get a delay of game?
My question as well.
Well, I think what you're looking at, though, is you're allotted so much time for the timeout, and then you start up a play clock when you come back. And perhaps they used up their allotment of time in each situation, and that's where you're getting 5 yards off. But to me now, it almost makes your decision a lot easier punting the football. You're 4th and 11. This is the longest play we've seen between timeouts and everything.
4th and 10 for the 43-yard line.
So Johnson will take the snap under center.
And we got another delay.
We have another flag.
You know, what's bad is you're going back into, you know, you're going into a huddle. Just come up to the line of scrimmage and run your play. Everyone knows what the play is. It hasn't changed. Go up and run it. Now the coaching staff is wondering, where are all these delays coming from? I mean, you just call it, you put the ball in play. That's the fastest, you know, 25 or 30 seconds I've ever seen. Now they're just going to run it.
That's a weird sequence. I've never seen that before.
No.
Johnson with time, zings it out near side, can't connect. Looking for Derek Selders, who heard footsteps, although that probably would have been a tough catch to make anyway.
Yeah, just a bad throw. He had the defense beat. Selders coming to the outside. If you complete that pass, he has an opportunity to perhaps turn it up and get that first down, because he would have caught it about 4 or 5 yards short, but had some running room, and Johnson just unable to connect, launching that one.
Here the scouts with a fresh set of plays from the sideline. They got a chance to put some more on the board with a minute 13 left here in the half.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying you punt that football. You have no reason to run a play on that. Punt it.
Out of the wishbone, it's Good, who's flung forward for a gain of about 8. Brought down there by 62, Jerome Johnson. Clock on the roll. We're at the 1 minute mark here. 2nd down and 4. Magda the fullback. Good and Thornhill are the running backs. Irvine, the southpaw, puts it up. Has a man open. Touchdown, Paul Mann.
Pass complete from Phil Irvine to number
So Phil Irvine off the bench puts it on the numbers. Man wide open. movement, trucks into the end zone.
Nice fake by Phil Irvine, tucking it away, and just before he gets drilled by Johnson, he lets the pass go, and man is wide open. Everybody forgot about him. And then he dives into the end zone. Coverage breakdown again on the outside, and it's cost Julian, you know, again, now down 27, perhaps 28-0 with the point after, but they're just forgetting about that guy coming to the outside, and that's your safety and corner's responsibility. Your outside linebacker should be watching that too, and they're nowhere to be seen.
Aaron Toll is good for the 4th time this afternoon. 41 seconds left first half. Lake Forest in firm command of this 5A IHSA opening rounder.
At USK.
Julian Jaguars of Chicago still have yet to get on the scoreboard. Big play before we went to the break. All man gathers a touchdown pass from Phil Irvine, fresh off the bench, and Irvine really made the most of his field time.
No doubt about it. You know, I was looking to see where Spencer Moss was, and he wasn't to be seen.
Squibber, ball loose, Scouts have it.
Lake Forest recovers.
I don't know if that was supposed to be a squibber or he just missed the football.
He just missed it. It was an ugly kick that just worked out well for the Scouts. I mean, he went to, if you're going to squib it, well, here we're catching the tail end of it, but it just came off the side of his foot, had an ugly spin to it, just bounced right off Johnson's hands and bounced forward, or Derek Selders, excuse me, hit his hands, came forward. Mad scramble for it, and in the rugby scrum, all of a sudden Lake Forest gets it, and they got Spencer Moss back behind center.
Like one of my golf shots when I picked the head up. Moss off the option, Spencer gets out of bounds to kill the clock with 30 seconds left in the half. Flags down very late.
Yeah, we may be getting a personal foul then on this, or wait a minute, it looks like they're pointing back towards Lake Forest.
Julian player shaking up on the far side. Derek Selders gonna crawl off.
Yeah, an illegal block is what's been called. Let's see if maybe we can pick it up. We're not going to be able to see it here. The flag came in from the back. Well, that may be it, actually. Coming in late on the play was Kyle Simpson, and perhaps that's where the flag was coming in. It was thrown down towards the middle of the field, and we've got an injured Jaguar on the other sideline. And I think he was the recipient of that hit. It's Simpson, 74, that's going to throw the block, and he throws it on Selders. And that's where they flag him on the play.
Yeah, good flag. Selders very shaken up and had to kind of stay down on all fours and just kind of crawled his way off the sideline. So he's okay. He's been playing a fine game. Number 80, Derek Selders, two-way player. He's a junior. So from midfield, first down 18, Moss back in with Covert as his fullback. Two tight ends. Covert upended at the 40. He has the first down there. Clock ticking, 20 seconds now.
Tackle on the play to number 12, James Johnson.
Well, actually, he's going to be short of that first down because of the penalty moving it back, so they got 2nd and 9 coming up. But unlike an 11-yard pickup right off the bat.
Chris Tobbins, he checks in at tackle. Moss looking to throw. Looking for good out of the backfield. Picked off. Flags are down. The interception made by Michael Lindsay. Mike Lindsay, good in pursuit. Lindsay's in the end zone. And now we'll wait on that flag.
Well, no indication about a touchdown either. The official's coming back. He was talking to one of the players. The flag is down back at the 43. And now the official's dropping his hat at the 23.
Time off the clock, nothing left. You're right, no arms went up to indicate touchdown.
No, and the play continued on. I wonder what the call is on this one, because it looked as though on the interception, he never went down. And the flag may have been thrown because of a hold. So he never made contact with the ground until he got into the end zone.
Great effort
but I
by
think
Lindsay to get there.
they're going to have, they got a hold, but they're offsetting penalties. The illegal block, the clip on the part of Julian coming down the field. And let's see if we can pick it up. Moss goes back to throw, is under pressure. And, you know, it's the last play of the quarter, and he just throws it short. So the hold's inside, but then the ball is picked off by Mike Lindsay. Now he's heading back. Let's see if we can pick up where the clip comes in. Right there. The clip thrown by Jerome Johnson. And he just came to the backside of Mike Biondi, and that's where they called it. So, you know, he did get into the end zone, but they're going to whistle it off because of the clip. Now, since it occurred after the interception, what you're going to get is the ball marked down at the 25-yard line.
Julian will have the ball.
So the Jaguars will have a chance to run one play here.
Take one shot at the end zone before we go to halftime. You know, Jerome Johnson, as if the first clip wasn't bad enough, he threw another one near the goal line. He's trying to free up his running back. Lindsay did it all on his own, though. That showed me something, that interception return.
Yeah, so the interception does count, too, and it was a heck of a job to take it back the other way. But Johnson just, you know, it was funny, too, because the block is thrown at a guy that doesn't have a chance to make the play. Biondi's not going to catch up on that one and make a tackle. So the fact that the contact was made just hurts Julian. I mean, that's where 6 points come off the board because of a block that didn't need to be thrown. So now the officials are trying to set everything, getting the ball set in. So what happens is it's from the spot that the penalty was made, they move it back. They mark off the yardage.
Last play of the half. Johnson, set. That'll do it, and you know, it looked as though the team was on the move anyways. They didn't get that play off cleanly. The officials let it expire, and that's where we are at halftime. Lake Forest, 28. Julian, nothing.
Julian, 0.
Nothing. And before the game, Dan Capasso had a chance to hook up with both head coaches, and we'll start it off with Lake Forest, Tom Myers.
3-2. Coach, here you are, playoff football again in Lake Forest. Your thoughts today? You have to be proud of this football team.
Well, I really am. I think if you go into the start of the season and say you can come out of it 7-2 and have a first-round playoff game at home, you'd almost accept it at that point. We were a little disappointed in our play last week against Antioch. We thought we could come in 8-1 and, you know, go beyond maybe some expectations. But, you know, I think that's just a minor setback. And this one, we're home, and we're going to put on a pretty good show, I think, today.
Spencer Moss called that kind of a learning experience, a humbling experience. Perhaps it might have been a good thing in the long run.
Yeah, maybe. Let's hope so anyway. I hope they don't dwell on it anyway. We've had a pretty good week of practice, and, you know, sometimes you learn from losses. I think you have to learn how to lose sometimes, and that just makes you a stronger person. And we're going to try and play real good, solid football today and do the best we can and represent the North Shore here soundly, very well.
Got a public league team coming in. I understand they like to come right at you.
Yes, they play pretty much out of a power eye, a little bit of a pro set with an eye, and they still run a lot off tackle, and they'll bounce it outside. They have a couple real good running backs, solid kids. Last year when we played CVS, they had a couple race horses. These guys are more like plow horses. Just you better get ready to tackle when they come at you. And their team speed defensively could give us some problems if we misread some plays. And, you know, Spencer off a 2-week vacation type situation from play should be healthy. You know, we'll see how his thumb holds up. But I think he'll do a pretty good job of reading their defense.
Okay, and your defense is a good week of practice?
Good week of practice. You know, last week we gave up more points than we're used to giving up, other than when we played Stevenson, and our offense put them in pretty good position a couple times. But we feel sound. I mean, we feel like we're ready to go, and this is the start of 4 or 5 more games.
Football weather, a good day in Lake Forest.
Yeah, it's football weather, good day in Lake Forest, and hopefully a good day on the field.
Terrific, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Tom Myers would like to play 5 more games, and so far they've got a pretty nice start to it. The Scouts up 28-0, and after that interview with Tom Myers, Dan was able to hook up with the Julian head coach, Pete Thanos.
2. Coach, fantastic day for football in Lake Forest. 7-2 this year, good season. Going after the Scouts today.
Going to try to give them a good ball game, try to be a representative team for the Chicago Public League, and we've got a good bunch of kids, class bunch of kids, and they run the ball, we run the ball, so we could be out of here in about 45 minutes.
For the viewers in the area here who haven't seen Julian thus far, when you guys play well, what do you do well?
We run the football. We run the football off tackle, and we play good defense, and we're not fancy. messy. We don't throw the ball much. When we do, strange things happen. But we just try to play good special teams and good defense and run the football, control the clock.
Let's talk about your star running back, Antonio Watkins. He's a little iffy today.
Yeah, he's very iffy today. If he can't go and be about 90%, I'm not gonna play him in a ball game. And he's a great running back. The kid has amassed just all kinds of records and yardage over the last couple of years, and he's done it in tight situations. And it's kind of a shame if he can't go in a state playoff game. But right now his health is more important to us in a ball game. It's just the way it is.
The situation, short week situation. How much can you learn about at Lake Forest?
Well, we made a film exchange. They run the triple option, the true option, and it's a tough offense. And what we try to do is give the kids an overview of it, work against it as much as you can. But and like you said, in that situation, there's really no way that you can master defending it. And it's tough. What we've got to hope for is that we can do some things to confuse their mesh, and if we can do that, then we can stay in a ball game with them and have a good shot. If not, it could be a long 45 minutes.
Coach, good luck today.
All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
He was happy before the game, but his team is down 28-0 at half, and we'll have the second half of action for you when we come back after this.
Ah, the good old days.
Lake Forest to kick off, trying another squibber, and let's see who got there first. I believe that good field position will belong to Julian, Chip, and that time it was a planned play, I believe.
You're being real generous to these kickers with the squibs. He's outright missing the football. It's spinning like a top off his foot when he comes in to hit it.
He's on to something.
Oh, boy. Unbelievable.
Heads up job by Derek Selders to get back on the football. It's good to see Derek's okay.
Unbelievable, though. That's 2 in a row. That time they didn't get it. But hey, it was off his foot like a top. That's how I used to kick him. That's why I never kicked when I played. Forget it. I couldn't do it. Couldn't get the job done. Couldn't get the job done playing any other position. What made me think kicker would work.
Julian needs to get the job done, and they need to strike in a hurry. They're down 4 touchdowns. Stafford across the 40 to the 42-yard line. 3 Lake Forest touchdowns from Rick Thornhill, 1 from the air, Irvine, to Paul Mann, and that's the difference, Chip.
Yeah, we want to run down it real quick with 11:42 in the first quarter. Thornhill scored. First play from scrimmage, 64 yards. Comes back with 5:36 left to go in the quarter. Shortens the distance up, but the result's the same, a 19-yard touchdown run. 4:26 in the second. He caps off the trifecta with a 29-yard touchdown run. And just before the half, Irvine hooks up with Mann for a 32-yard strike.
Trifecta, how appropriate.
There you go.
Thornhill on the gallop today. From the 41, here comes Julian. Keeping it on the ground, there's their all-state, all-everything running back, Antonio Watkins, who was shut down here in the first half. But Watkins back in the lineup here as we start the second half. Maybe he'll provide a spark.
Yeah, and he's staying on the field now, whereas in the first half, he would run a play, get tackled, and come back out. And we thought he was running very tentatively, and I still believe that to be the case in that first. Well, now he's coming off the field. But he was a guy, I think, that just has said, hey, you know, let me let it hang out, coach. Let me give it a shot. But he's in for a play and then comes on out. So he makes an appearance and then bails out. And it really not effective this afternoon.
They're down a long 2 for the Jaguars. Mayhew, not going to get there. A driving tackle by number 11. That's Adam Galloway.
It's well defended, but the offense helps you. And what I mean by that is you need 2 yards, and you pitch it 4 back. So you're in need of 6 in reality. And it's just not going to happen when the defense surrounds the play like they do. John Lampro's the first one to get over there, number 44, and then Galloway finishes it off. But pitch plays on a 4th and short generally aren't going to work for you. The linebackers can read it, and they're given the advantage to step into the hole and try to make that play before it gets to the line of scrimmage.
On 4th and less than a yard, they're going to go for it. They have it. Johnson stepping outside over midfield to the 49 has the first down for Julian.
That's how you get first downs. You don't play around with pitches and things that start off in negative yardage and then try to get it back up. Johnson just takes the football, follows behind his center, and look at the hole he gets. That's a good-sized hole for a quarterback sneak. He gets into that secondary, picks up 5 yards.
Linehan on the stop, just inside Lake Forest territory now. Watkins, the tailback, puts on a burst. That's his best game of the day. He comes up all charged up.
Yeah, now I think that time they got a hole for him, and he was able to accelerate through. Now he stays out on the field. Let's see if they pull him now. Here he comes over on the right side. Look at the lead blocks he's getting, and look at the hole. Boy, from a quarterback sneak to a straight dive play, Julian opened up some pretty nice size holes, and he does stay on the field in the tailback spot.
Second down, long 2 yards. Watkins gets the call. Second effort gets him the first down.
He is running with more heart now in these 2 plays. It helps that you have some daylight to work with, but you know, I go back to saying that this guy probably came in and figured, hey, look, we're down 20-0. Let it hang out. I'm the chance that we have to get back into this ball game. I got to go for it. Let me do it. And that man right there, Coach Pete Thanos, I guess is going along with it, saying, let's do it.
Peter Graff finally on the stop from the 39-yard line of Lake Forest. Johnson, his whole line went, flags everywhere. And it's going to be against Julian. Center
Overly
forgot
excited.
to count, I think.
Yeah, overly excited. Everybody wanted to get off. You're making some positive gains. Let's see.
Against Julian.
Okay, actually, it's your guard that's moving a little fast, and that's James Weatherford, and he just popped out a little bit too quick, and they're going to mark off the 5. But you know, here's where Julian's looking and saying things are working now. Granted, we're down 28-0. Lake Forest has got to keep the intensity up, but Julian's doing a nice job of creating some holes and letting these guys get some running yardage. Actually running room to get the yardage. English was never strong.
The message is clear. 1st and 15 from the 43-yard line. This is Watkins taking it inside the 40 to the 39.
Watkins, the ball carrier.
It'll be 2nd and 10.
Tackle the number 34, John Collins.
They had those ankle problems, and you can't really see, but on that left side, it seems to be taped up a little bit more.
Second down, 11 yards to go.
On his
the ball
ankle.
Inside the Lake Forest 40-yard line.
I think that's the one that they were worried about. It's such a cold day, though. It pretty much numbs everything you got going.
5'8", 210. He's to look at him, you wouldn't think that he's the explosive type of runner that he is, but he certainly has put up the numbers.
No, he's a thick kid. If you're 5'8" and you're 210, you've got some beef to you, and you can run too.
Johnson with time. We got to have a flag there.
Johnson's pass
finally we do. A snug coverage provided by John Collins.
Selders.
A little
There's
bit
a flag
too tight.
down on the play.
He's all over Derek Selders. Somebody get that, please. Thank you. I'm not here. Anyway, Selders is right on top of that play.
Pass interference.
He's got the inside,
against the Scouts.
and as you said, it's Collins who's coming over the back, and that was a pretty easy one.
So the walk-off against Lake Forest.
With the penalty, 1st and 10 for the Jaguars.
And they bring it all the way down to the 24-yard line.
You know, too, I think Julian got bailed out on that play with a penalty because it really looked ugly from the get-go. Didn't look like anything was going to develop out of that play, and Johnson's kind of hoping something's got to happen. And lo and behold, he's able to get Selders over into the side and get the cover and get the pass off, and they get the interference.
And
Watkins, 4-yard gain.
John Collins on the tackle, number 34.
A little inspiration in the form of number 33, Antonio Watkins.
Yeah, like I said, they need it, though. I mean, this is a team down 28-0 that hasn't had a chance to get any type of momentum built up and get themselves back in this football game. Watkins looks back, says, I didn't play that much. In that first half, I wasn't effective. This could be my last high school football game. Let's just let it all hang out and go after it.
2nd down, 6 from just outside the 20. Johnson, Watkins, nothing this time, maybe a yard. Good tackle by Mike Heeman, who hit him up high and slid down, took him down.
Heeman was the guy back in that first half that was getting free shots at Johnson. And this time they just tried to do a little slant. He tried to cut back in, Watkins did, and was just met by a sea of blue. Collins also got a hat in there, but, you know, you talk about Heeman, it was just interesting to watch how no one picked him up in that first half. Perhaps they made an adjustment and found out that from the left side, he's a-coming.
3rd down, 5. Watkins behind a big block. Antonio
Watkins on the carry.
gets down near the 15 where he'll be a little short of the first down. Let's wait on the spot. 6 minutes left, third quarter. Julian down 28-0 to the Lake Forest Scouts.
Well, they've got themselves over a 6-minute drive going right now to open this third quarter, but it's great if you've got a close ball game. But being down 28-0, you got to make something happen, and something happen quickly. You got to get some points up on that board. Long drives are fine unless you are, once you put points on the board. If you can't get anything out of it, it doesn't help you.
Fourth down, 2 from the 16. Lake Forest fans making some noise. Here's Johnson taking on the defender. He got there. Peter Graff couldn't.
James Johnson, the ball carrier.
The stick.
Well, let's see. I don't know if he's going to get it.
Stopped by number 27, Peter Graff.
The official is standing just inside the 15-yard line. Oh, he's not going to get there.
Oh, I thought he did. All right.
Lake Forest
so Graff does do the job.
What's tough, too, is that ball is a full length inside the 15-yard line. Now, watch when he gets to the outside. The stick's really not planted. See where he is on the outside? Yeah, it is. And he tries to make a turn inside.
The ball is at the round 15.
Now, he looks from this angle like he's got it.
I think they spotted the knee, but I think the ball broke the plane.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, it's Lake Forest football.
In fact, they move it back. They say the ball never got to the 15-yard line.
Moss back in. Ronnie Good gets the call. Good wrapped up by Derek Selders after a gain of about 6.
Michael Lindsay, number 82, on the tackle for the Jaguars.
Yeah, that's tough because it looked as though he had that first down. Because if you're the quarterback, you know where that marker is, you know where you have to get to. And it looked from our vantage point like, hey, all he had to do is really just cross that 15-yard line and he would have enough. But the officials saying he didn't get there. They spotted the ball originally at about the 14.5, and then the original mark on the fourth down was at about the 15.5.
Second down 4. Good should have the first down. Yeah, that put a halt to an impressive Julian drive. They had some little momentum built up there.
Yeah, they were getting some things going, and to have it all just come down to that. And even there, too, I think you look and go, well, not great play calling. I mean, if you want to second guess, you can, but, quarterback, just keeping the ball and everyone's reading that play as well as they did, you made it close, but close doesn't count. You got to get there.
From the 26, Spencer Moss handing off Rick Thornhill. Thornhill to the 35. Hit there by Mike Lindsay.
He's got 124 yards on the day.
Make that the 35, and let's watch how we got there.
5 carries. Look at the block. Ronnie Groot has been throwing some pretty nice blocks this afternoon, and if you don't believe me, ask Ricky Carter, because he just took a shot, which allowed Thornhill to cut back underneath and get some more yards. Those two complement each other very well, as does Magda coming from the fullback.
Moss on the option. Spencer across the 40.
The ball carrier.
The 43-yard line. Nice read off the option by the senior quarterback. There's that leadership.
Yeah, that's a nice piece of running right there by Spencer Moss to keep hold of the football from the 35. Fakes the handoff inside. And look at Julian is confused on that play, not knowing where to go. They could not follow the football. Michael Lindsay was looking at the fullback thinking it was going inside, and that man's got reason to smile because they're taking the bait.
Scouts chewing up clock, keeping it on the ground. Moss on 1st and 10, handoff. That's Ronnie Good. Look at him. Must have had for a first down.
The ball carrier.
Yeah, no, it's just been that option play this afternoon that has really gotten to Julian. And going back to the last play, they're taking that dive man first and forgetting about the fact that Moss can keep hold of the football and take it to the outside. Here's just a straightforward handoff, giving it inside to Ronnie Good, and he's going to pick up 10 and get that first down. But it's the previous play you look at, it was just indicative of not being able to cover the option very well this afternoon. And it's being run very well by the Scouts. They're making the blocks, but the decoys in the back have just frozen or have forced the outside containment or the linebackers to commit into the fullback, and that's just opened up a door to the outside for big yardage.
Measurement.
First
as
down
anticipated.
for the Scouts. Across
Chip Egan
midfield,
and crew.
marking first
Hey.
and 10 for Lake Forest.
He dove across.
The ball is at the Julian 47-yard
Even
line.
a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then.
47-yard line of Julian. Scouts back in Jaguar country. 3:20 left, third quarter. Scouts have been in control. 28-0 Lake Forest. 3 Rick Thornhill touchdowns from the ground. Philip Irvine to Paul Mann from the air. Fullback Magda, no sir. Ran into 3 Jaguars. The first to pounce was number 80, and that is Derek Selders, who's been very busy today.
At the line of scrimmage.
Julian active on that play,
Second down,
stopping the
10
run.
yards to go.
They've got to come up with a lot more of these. 2:50 left to go in the third quarter. Need to come up with a few of those. Remember, the winner going on to take on Rockton Hunninega. Scouts win, they hit the road and head out to the Rockford area. A couple scouts from Hunninega are here this afternoon watching the game, checking things out. They were a very impressive winner last night.
Ronnie Good with a good block from Thornhill, not good enough. Rick was only able to muster, take your pick, 3 yards.
He got 3 yards.
Third down, 7 on the way.
Pickup of 3. It's third down,
Hunninega
7
just
yards to
beat
go.
up on Cary Grove last night.
The ball at the
Winnipeg
45-yard line.
and Rockton. Another one of those teams that's well outside of the area, in fact, of the Chicago area, and perhaps not a lot of people know about them, but, you know, Cary Grove certainly does now. It was about 34-7, I believe. There was a final in that ball game.
From the 45-yard line, Moss from the wishbone. Rivetto split near side. The fullback, Magda, forget about it. Magda ran into a orange and white wall.
Carrier.
And there he is
Tucked
again,
at the
number
line
8,
by
Derek Selders.
number 80.
Well, I got a minute. Let me check that. It was Hunninega 49. It was Freeport that they beat 14.
Brings up fourth
Cary
down
Grove
for
had a
Lake
game
Forest.
last night and got stomped, but it was Hunninega 49, Freeport 14. So the Pretzels getting knocked out of the playoffs.
Pretzels getting
number 11, Adam
crushed.
Galloway, set to punt for the Scouts.
Now this is what they need. They need a good special teams play out of here. Julian does.
Galloway's punt, fielded at the 15-yard line and dropped. Ricky Carter got back on the football, but his coach and the staff with a collective gas.
Take over, first and 10. The ball will be marked at their own 13-yard
That one just
line.
started tailing away from Carter. He tried to track it down. And there you see Pete Thanos just having a talk with him. Shake it off.
I'll tell you, Julian came a long way from Chicago South Side for today's trip, but nowhere near as long as Collinsville had to travel to get to Stevenson last night. That has to take it out of you.
5.5-hour drive, and, you know, we were kind of harping on it last night and watching the game, and I said, you know, I just don't believe in taking kids that far and telling them to get off the bus and have intensity. It just takes it out of you.
First down, and Watkins is starting to pile up some yardage. Antonio blasts out over the 20 to the 24-yard line. I checked that. That's I gave him too much credit there. He takes it to the 21, 9-yard pickup, second and a yard.
Yeah, you know, just thinking about it, it's a long hike, but Coach Jackson, the head coach over at Collinsville, said, hey, it's part of the routine. And I thought, what, getting up early and traveling 5 hours is part of the routine for the ball club?
The fullback, number 35, Shannon Stafford.
Chandel Seffel, number 35, the ball carrier. First down yardage on the play for Julian.
So Stafford picks up the first down. Julian still on the march from the 25.
From their own 25, the Jaguars have it first and 10 yards to
Jaguars, most probably final play of the third quarter here. 5-4, they get it off. Watkins.
Number 33,
hangs the Lake Forest left side flags after the play as time elapses here in the third quarter.
Now 12 minutes of football, and unless Julian can get anything accomplished and get back into this one, Lake Forest will be moving on in the second round. So both the Lake County entrants
see if we can pick up what this flag is all about, Chip.
Yeah, they go to the right side.
Came in after the play.
Unless they noticed, yeah, they got a face mask somewhere in there. The play turned away from us. But I think that's what the call is going to be. as Watkins was coming to the right side. And they're going to mark this in. They'll mark this off. But yeah, Stevenson's going to move on, and they've got Wheaton South, or Wheaton North, excuse me, as face mask is called. They've got Wheaton North. They beat Glenbrook South last night. South had some problems in the ball game, couldn't get anything going, and Wheaton North was able to take advantage of it. So they move on, and will travel to Lincolnshire for a ball game with the Patriots.
York knocked out last night by Fremd. So Stevenson's nemesis last year is out of the playoffs. They get another play, does Julian here. The penalty on the previous play allows one more for the Jaguars. Ball carriers Pascal Jeffries taking it to the 45. That'll do it here for the third quarter of play. We've played a scoreless third with 1 left to go on the Star Channel.
Lake Forest 28, Julian 0.
If you experience a problem with your cable service, the U.S. Cable Customer Service Department would like to hear from you right away. You can speak with one of our representatives by calling
football coverage on the season. Dan Capasso along with Chip Egan and the Star Channel crew. Hey, Scott, talk to me about the camera people today, because they're doing a nice job.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we remind you, support the junior class in their sale of personalized cards. Stop by the table next to the
Jeff Schmidt on
concession stand
camera
at
3 today. Down to acknowledge the Star Channel crew. Scott Miller, the director, Dale Kalinowski in there on the graphics and shooting the pregame interview. Real nice job of high school football coverage, if I do say so myself, and we're proud of the crew and the job that we do. And we thank you for joining us all season long. It's been a great ride, Chip.
Hey, got to give Daryl Garriel some credit. He's in the truck, too. He missed a chance to be in a weigh-in to get his butt kicked in wrestling to come out here and do the game. He's all fired up about national competition, but hey, he'd rather be out here.
Lampros on the tackle
Just
for
shy
Lake
of the
Forest.
first down.
Across
Third down, less than a yard for Julian as we get the fourth quarter going.
For the Jaguars.
Who else? Do we miss anybody? We'll get them all acknowledged again at the end of the ball game.
Boy, the temperatures really have taken a turn for the worse. We had 9 weeks of decent weather for football, you know, during that regular season, and all of a sudden it got cold. Sun's out, but it's cold day, cold night last night too.
Third down, less than a yard from just inside Lake Forest territory. Watkins gets the call, gets the first down, and then some.
Antonio Watkins, number 33.
6-yard game, Antonio Watkins all the way down to the 44. 5'9", 210 gets you there in a hurry.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's got some good size behind him, low center of gravity. Give credit to the small guys. You gotta root for the small guys picking up the yardage. Hey, I have to. I'm part of that brotherhood.
The brotherhood of small
Brotherhood
men.
of those of us under 5'9".
The few, the proud.
The short.
Pascal Jeffries with a good gain. Near the 37-yard line, he'll be a couple yards short of the first.
And don't forget, you can catch the highlights of this ball game, Lake County Live, on Monday night, 5:30 and 7:30. 5:30 live, 7:30 the taped replay of the news, and Tuesday night election coverage too. So don't forget about that. A lot of races going on in Lake County, obviously, as well as around the nation, and Lake County Live will be on top of it.
Big time Tuesday in Lake County. Watkins just slipped. And comes up limping. Got a little bit of room to run, too.
Yeah, there he is coming off, and you know that's tough. You didn't want to see him get injured, and the fact that he's coming off under his own power is okay. But you see, he kind of got caught up in the turf a little bit, and kind of aggravated it. So he's going to come off the field. But you know, when the coach is voicing that much concern about a ball player before the game, like he did with Watkins, you know, it's got to be a little more serious than people think. But he wants to put it on the line with this being his senior season and try to give it a go. But he's got a bright future ahead of him. Some colleges looking at him.
Joel Riggs. Yeah, I saw where Wisconsin, Northern Illinois, among others. He's a valuable.
And not to knock you down as a Northern alum, but boy, do they need help.
They do.
Oh, losing to Akron last week, and they are in need of some big-time help.
You know, I think Antonio could be done for the day. I wouldn't be surprised. He's taking a seat on the far sideline bench and appears to be in a little bit of pain.
Yeah, tough day for him, though. He's in fact ended up being the running back with the most carries for the Jaguars. You see him right there sitting on the bench. 47 yards and 14 carries.
Johnson jarred. Boy, he just delivered the pump fake and didn't have time to deliver the strike.
Well, it was Mike Heyman again right there. No one picking him up from that blind side, and he's just had an open shot at Johnson all afternoon. Watch, he's going to step back into the pocket, but before you know it, he's got 36 drilling him up top. See, he brought the ball back and then just got popped. He didn't like what he saw with the coverage outside, wasn't about to let the ball go, and maybe would have been better off releasing it.
From the 41, the Scouts take over on downs. Spencer Moss. Ronnie Good to the 49-yard line. Tripped up there by Robert Watkins.
You know, you got your guys out there, your starters. You're down to 8.5 minutes left. This will probably be the last we see of the starting unit for Lake Forest this afternoon.
Well, we know they're in good hands with Philip Irvine. He fielded ably the 2 weeks Moss was out, and in the one pass he threw today was good for 6. That, of course, to Paul Mann in the second quarter. 28-0, Lake Forest on top. There's trouble at the snap. Moss obviously or evidently took a knee there. Was that?
Well, as he turned, he lost some footing and ended up hitting his knee. With Magda coming in from Moss's left, you're going to see it again. He's going to turn the fake handoff, but then just lost his footing. They may have collided a little bit, and that's where he just made contact with the turf with his knee. And down he goes.
Hey, heads-up job by the officials today. They're doing a great job. I acknowledge them after this play. When you don't notice the officials, that's when you know if things are going smoothly. Covert, huge hole across the 40 to the 39, brought down by Ricky Carter. But the backup fullback Covert with a nice gain. Chuck Veslitz, Jerry Cunningham, Harry Schlinker, Jeff Stewart, and Daryl Rathman, today's officiating crew. Rivetto in, split to the right now. Magda checks back in at fullback for the Lake Forest Wishbone. Thornhill, good, the nice kick out block. There he goes again. Ricky, 20, 10, to the corner, touchdown.
Lake Forest touchdown.
The 4th touchdown of the afternoon for Rick Thornhill once again. He benefits from a great block from Ronnie Good. Let's watch it again.
That's been the case all afternoon. Again, they do a nice job of running. Look at the blocking by Magda. But what you don't see is the block that Ronnie Good has thrown. But if you think back to the other touchdowns Thornhill has had this afternoon, just think of the same block. He's done it all afternoon. The kick-out block on the corner that's moved him away from the play and opened up a gigantic hole to the outside. And again, it's just Julian biting on that fake handoff inside to the fullback and allowing those two guys to get outside and pick up the big-time yardage.
40-yard jaunt by Thornhill. The extra point is added by the sophomore Aaron Toll, and with 7 minutes left, the Scouts of Lake Forest looking ahead to the second round, lead 35-0.
Everyone needs
in the background, the school and the Scouts on top, 35-0. A good day overall in Lake Forest. James Payton finally flung to the ground at the 35-yard line. Payton saw some green, and quickly the special teams from Lake Forest put a stop to that.
Saw a lot more of it when they brought him down, too. But just been a tough day. Yeah, been a tough day for that squad over there. Pete Themos, his ball club, you know, came out 7-2. But get a chance, if I'm not mistaken, to get back into the Chicago Public League tournament as far as going for the Prep Bowl. If you lose in the first round, you're allowed back in as far as the playoffs go. And that's where the Chicago Public League team will take on one of the teams from the Chicago Catholic League. And I think they invite the teams that lose in that first round to be able to continue play.
This team has shown a lot of heart. You know, you could kind of see the way things were going when, after the 64-yard Thornhill touchdown to open the ball game, Julian marched on down and really were knocking on that door when that apparent touchdown pass was dropped. And really, Lake Forest saw closed the door on that situation and then made good on the rest of the day.
Yeah, really, you know, Julian had a chance to get something going, and it just wasn't going to work out for him. Everything just got shut down this afternoon. The scout defense rose to the occasion, played some great defense this afternoon, but it was really Julian's defense and inability to stop the run this afternoon on the option that killed him. In the long run, that's what hurt him. They were biting on the fakes, taking the decoy, and forgetting about Thornhill as well as Good. And, I mean, and judging by what you'd see on tape, you would think those would be the two guys to stop.
Johnson gets rid of the football. Who else? Mike Heeman. He's saying, hey, nobody's in my way. I'm having a good time today.
No, guaranteed he will not get that type of opportunity next week against Hononegah. Here you see Johnson coming back and nobody picking him up. And, you know, Johnson's going to have nightmares about this guy because he's been in his face all afternoon. He's just gotten through and no one's picking him up. And somewhere along the line, someone's got to, you know, get on the horn of the staff and say, hey, watch out for 36. He's coming. No one's picking him up. We got to have somebody get him.
Philip Irvine limbering up on the near side. We may very well see Philip on the next set of downs for the Scouts. First man through is the fullback, barreling ahead, number 35. That is Shandale Stafford, and he picks up the first down. And on the field for the Scouts, it's B. Parker Mack, going to get some defensive work in.
Can't miss him, 5'11", 260. Certainly will plug up the run. And as we were talking about earlier, I think now you're down to 6:36. You've got a comfortable 35-0 lead. We're going to see some guys that don't get a lot of playing time hop onto the field.
An inspirational force to the Scout defense is B. Parker Mack. Mayhew solved in the backfield. 78, Tyler Hansen.
Mayhew, the ball carrier. Brought down by number 54.
Now it's just been a tough afternoon all the way around for Julian. And there you see the Scouts just reading that play. So for the second year in a row, Lake Forest is going to knock out a Chicago Public League team rather handily. Taking care of CVS, Chicago Vocational, last year to open things up before coming back and losing to Naperville North.
Ryan Greenlease also went on that great defensive play for the Scouts. Second down and 11. Quick fling across the middle. And Ricky Carter, watch that ball sail over his head. Well, with Heeman and the type of rush that he's been supplying today, you got to have short drops like that.
Yeah, it's a little too late, obviously. I mean, you're down 35-0, 5.5 minutes left. It's pretty much a foregone conclusion. But, you know, this is one of those where you're having fun defensively, but you have to realize that that will not be the case come next week. Obviously, things don't get any easier as the playoffs go on. And a team like Rockton-Hononegah, who exploded over Freeport with a 49-14 win, hey, they can put points on the board, and they can play some defense.
Off the draw, this is Pickens. Kevin Pickens with a fine run.
Yeah, some nice
Kevin
spins.
Pickens, number 20, the ball carrier. Knocked out of bounds by number 32,
a lot of Pickens today, just a junior at 5'7", 145. Showed me something on that play.
No, not a whole lot of them this afternoon. He's another guy that you know, they want to see something out of. He's only a junior. He'll be back. Carter's a junior. He'll be back for Julian. So they'll be bringing a few guys back that have had some varsity experience. In fact, James Johnson is only a junior as well, so the starting quarterback will return.
4th down, 2 yards to go to keep the drive alive. And back in the ball game, it's the very, very rugged Antonio Watkins.
Tackle the number 79, Parker Mack.
Parker Mack on the stop. The crowd loves it.
Hey, you got to root for the guy. And they're making a stop. You know, when you take a look at this Julian club, I'm running down the roster. A lot of juniors, some sophomores. They've even got a couple of freshmen up on this squad. They were brought up probably more so for the playoffs, but on the tail end of our program that we have here, Alan Kent, Nolan Douglas, Devon Morris, and Wendell Pierce are all freshmen.
Busted play. Johnson going to keep.
Johnson, the ball carrier.
Takes it all the way to the 30.
Joshua Lindsay's a freshman, and Hassan Steele, another freshman. Not very many seniors on this ball club, so Julian will be bringing back a good number of guys for next year. You know, when you have a 7-2 record, a playoff berth, and a bunch of guys coming back, you know, if you're Pete Thanos, you're pretty happy about that, and you've got to expect some big things out of your club again next year.
They spotted on the 34 where Johnson's knee hit, so it'll be 2nd down and 4 with under 4 minutes left in the contest. Lake Forest firmly in command at 35-0. Watkins with a second effort spin down to the 31.
Tackle the number 79, Parker Mack.
Parker Mack again in on the stop.
Boy, they like him. The fans just cheering it up for him. They like hearing his name come over after making a stop. But they're really happy with the fact that this season will continue. It's not done. They've got another game next week.
3rd down, about a yard to go for Julian. Here come the backers. Johnson, the keeper. He ought to have it. Flags after the play, well after the play.
There is a flag down on the field.
Some kind of extracurricular activity, it would appear. Mack on the stop.
The indication against the Jaguars.
Gave the clipping sign, but you probably had a chop block, actually, that you got, and that's where your penalty is going to come in. Rare that you see chop block calls on a quarterback keeper for short yardage, but you got one there.
Yeah, nobody hurt, luckily. Hate to see any injuries at any time of the game, of course, but when it's 28 or 35-0, it's senseless.
And really, when you get down to it now, Lake Forest especially, seeing as how you are going to be playing next week, you don't want to run the risk of anybody getting injured. You know, the last thing you want to have happen is somebody that's going to be getting some playing time or does play a lot getting injured, and Lake Forest has been able to avoid that this afternoon. Nobody injured. Sure, you're going to have some guys with the typical bumps and bruises, but for the most part, they're all set, and boy, did Johnson get popped. This time, they're spreading the wealth and let somebody else come in and hit him, and that's Ryan Greenlees. Actually, Ryan Greenlees, excuse me on that, that's an open shot. You dream about that.
Pass is incomplete, brings up
off goes a very sore James Johnson. So with 4th and 15, Johnson and Watkins walk off, a couple of wounded Warriors, and Julian will punt the football. Lawrence Johnson. Looked like it hit the foot of number 40, Pascal Jeffries. And we'll take a break. 35-0 Scouts, 2:47 left. He spotted at the 27-yard line where the Scouts go back to work. And as we expected, Phil Irvine back at the controls for the Scouts. Spencer Moss done for the day. And a great day he had.
And now they get to start things up. They didn't really put the ball into play yet. Now they have.
First carry of the ball game for the Scouts, number 28, Scott Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
I was waiting for that. You had to come. Down goes Frazier.
Along with Kevin Pickens, number 20 on the tackle.
And he doesn't have the undershirt going. He's a lineman in running back garb.
It's second down, 7 yards
showing off those guns. Frazier, 175-pounder, 5'11". Second down 8. Thornhill, Good, Magda, all taking a break now. This time it's
number 35, Aaron Toll.
Aaron Toll, the kicker, turned running back. Sophomore getting a little work in the backfield.
Number 50.
You can tell the sophomores, they don't have the names on the
Yeah, no, they haven't reached upperclassman status yet where you're allowed to have your name on the back of the jersey. Now that comes with being a junior. Then you get it.
Do you earn a letter for flawless performance on extra points, or does that not count?
I don't think they're going to give it to him.
They get the sophomore shield. I don't know the letter ranking here at Lake Forest. At Mundelein, you would have gotten the sophomore shield.
Hey, it's like the Andrew Jones syndrome with Atlanta. He plays a few games, is tough with the Braves, helps him get to the World Series. He can still win Rookie of the Year next year because he didn't get enough playing time as a member of the varsity, if you will. And I think that's the case here with Toll. But we'll see if he's going to be kicking next week, too. Onondaga on the schedule next week as they march on to the second round of 5A play.
Fourth down 5. Scouts, Irvine commandeering the Lake Forest Scouts at this point. Off the option, Irvine, well-advised pitch. And it doesn't look like they'll have the first down.
Andrew Magda, the ball carrier.
Andrew Magda, the ball carrier. So the second Magda in the backfield today.
The brother. He steps onto the field. He's only a sophomore as well.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen.
And Lake Forest on to round 2.
PA announcer making the announcement to the student body and the fans here today. Rockton Onondaga, that's a pretty good hike. Scouts with a lot of momentum going into that one. You recall they had a great game against the public league team in the opening round, so they're going to have to stay focused.
Yeah, last year they just ran into a real tough Naperville North team, and we saw an excellent quarterback in a guy named Kavanaugh, and he could play some football. In fact, he's over at Kansas State doing very well right now, and he just picked apart Lake Forest last year. But it's a different scout ball club, and they're getting a different opponent, and we'll see what happens next week.
On the ground with Joel Riggs. Hey, you got to hand it to this Julian team. Never quit, kept coming at them. They, as we mentioned, were 7-2 on the season. They earned a playoff berth and came all the way out here to Lake Forest, gave them a game.
Now, like I said, for them, it's not over either. If I'm not mistaken, they go back into the Chicago Public League playoffs where they can get a shot at the Prep Bowl. So even though their state playoff run will come to an end, they can certainly get a shot at taking the Prep Bowl championship.
Johnson leaving it upstairs, and he overthrew his intended receiver, James Payton, who had a step on the defender, 83, Michael Hurst.
To the varsity girls volleyball team on their regional championship.
6 seconds remain, Chip.
PA announcer talking about Lake Forest, the volleyball team. They're moving on to the sectional semifinals Tuesday night over at Stevenson High School. They're going to meet the Libertyville Wildcats. And the other game will have the Carmel Corsairs also in the second round taking on the Warren Blue Devils. So that game, those 4 teams, I should say, will be playing in the sectional semifinals. Again, Libertyville and Lake Forest, they'll play at 6:30 on Tuesday night. Carmel Warren, the second game at 7:30. And the sectional finals in volleyball will be Thursday night at Stevenson.
Johnson for Payton. Intercepted. 83, Michael Hurst. There to pull it in and end the football game. On that positive note, the Scouts 35, Julian nothing in the opening round of the 5As. Back after this to wrap it up.
Chip, tell the good folks at home how the Scouts did it.
Well, Rick Thornhill had 4 touchdowns.
A happy Tom Myers, handshakes all around. Recton Hononegah will be the second round opponent. Chip, tell the good folks at home how the Scouts did it.
Well, Rick Thornhill had 4 touchdowns on the day, got 3 in the first half to make it 21-0. Then Philip Irvine hooked up with man on a 32-yard touchdown pass before the half to make it 28-0. That's how it stood until the fourth quarter when Thornhill scored on a 40-yard touchdown run to make it 35-0 on the day. Thornhill 6 carries, 164 yards, 4 touchdowns. Ron Good 10 carries, 81 yards. Nice job for the Scouts. They move on to the second round of 5A, and we'll meet Rockton Hononegah.
All right, my friend, this is the last Star Channel football coverage of the year. It's been a nice ride. Looking forward to hoop.
Been a good one. We'll hook it up, yeah, basketball after Thanksgiving.
Good luck to the Lake Forest Scouts as they move on. The executive producer of Star Channel Sports is our very own Diane Shepard. Scott Miller, today's remote facilities director. Daryl Garriel, engineer and audio responsibilities today. Dale Kalinowski has been our assistant director. Cameras by Bob Alou, Sarah Glembaki, and program distribution by Debbie Termini, and there's the versatile Pugsley. For producer director Scott Miller, Chip Egan, and the entire Star Channel crew, this has been Dan Capasso thanking you for watching Star Channel football today and throughout the season. Have a great day, everyone.